Hello, welcome to the Well. Maria from Bloom, Angela from Grounded Dreamers for our weekly soul guidance reading. So let's just pause and connect. Take a breath in, grow roots down into the earth, grounding and opening up to the reading. Oh, all right, let's go right into it.
Okay, so this week we're working on our doubts and fears, or we're finding, a possible path to work on it, to work through it. The first card I pulled is doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. This is hard for us as humans who use our brains to get everything done, right? And, keep things in order and create steps and, communicate. And the doubt that lingers in our minds like that is in your way. That is preventing you from your progress. So just starting out with the willingness to release that need to know all the answers. It doesn't mean you're going to actually execute it and do it in one step, but being willing to let go of needing to know all the answers. That's your first step. Then I got energy. This is the hummingbird, and this is cautioning you, or actually guiding you to pay attention to where you put your energy, especially the hummingbird has these big, quick, flurry spurts of energy. That's how it moves. You can, when you feel that impulsiveness, or not, I guess it's impulsiveness, that need, that energy that lifts up and says, okay, I'm going to get this done. But just be careful that you don't burn out too, right? Be very mindful of where you place your energy and how much you apply, because you want to pace yourself a little bit here.
Right.
And we're moving into the mind again here with the control card. Releasing, that's the same thing with the doubt, releasing that need to control every step. We can plot out the steps, but when we're executing and they don't come out the way we wanted, let go of that. There could be that something magical is showing up instead of the way you planned it out, right? So it's a hard one. This is a lot of, clearing our mental habits. And it's not an easy thing to do, but it's not impossible either. So releasing that need to control. And then one way to start to soften those edges of, that thumb you want to put on everything, right? One way to soften that is to go deeper. And we don't always want to do that. We want to stay up here in the mind realm, but really we need to go deeper. I got work through your fears. This is the new moon in Scorpio. The Scorpio is the sign of the deepest depths of our feelings, right? This goes deep, and finding possible root causes for some of that mental activity that goes on. A lot of times it's a matter of protection, right? We have the fear, we have the big fears of, and vulnerabilities of maybe being found out that, oh, I'm trying to achieve this, but I'm not really qualified or whatever. Whatever it is, find that root of what the doubt is rooted in. It's usually a fear, and just allow it to be there. We don't have to fix it or change it overnight, but allow it to be there and open up an awareness about it within you. This will create some change. It creates a shift. Now, we know this card typically is usually, change is constant. It's always happening. Find a way to rest in the center so we're not getting, spun out on that wheel. But also we want to, when we are inviting change, it starts with the inside. It starts way within you. And, as you're dealing with the doubts and the fears and the control issues, it's a matter of even if one little aspect of it feels lighter or feels better or feels like, okay, I could try this instead, that's the start of that flow of change. And then I pulled collaborate. This is represented by the ant. And call in other energies, call in other sources, other people, your spirit guides, the collective, know that you're working in concert with other energies at all times. It's not just you and your mind, right? There's way more at play. And if you kind of, relax some of that mental energy, you start to really experience that. And then I got welcome surrender. This is a reminder that it's the same kind of a feeling, surrendering that mental need to control. But this is kind of reminding us there is no problem that we're facing. It's only our destiny being revealed step by step. The destiny is being revealed. And if you see it in that way, instead of this is a problem, I'm stuck, I'm going to fight it. Instead, think, oh, okay, this is a small obstacle, and let's see where it takes me next. Because I know where I'm headed. I may not get there tomorrow, but let's move with the energy that's available to me. And then the final card I got is renewal. And this is a first chakra card. This is like starting on the path all over again, or a new level, like, kind of like in video games, you're leveled up and now you start fresh from a new vantage point or a new path. This moves from, the death and destruction of winter, which is common. Nature always has renewal happening, right? It moves into spring, where it's a cycle. And it's not something to be controlled or managed. The energy isn't to be managed. The energy is there to move you.
Well, and to be in flow with.
Keep in the flow with it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. I mean, because winter always turns into spring. Spring always turns into summer. Summer always turns into fall, and fall always turns into winter.
And we don't ever have to doubt it.
We don't ever have to doubt it. Exactly. And doubt can be so sneaky. That feeling of doubt can be so sneaky, and it can create an experience that feels like it's truth, and it isn't, right? It isn't. And that distinction is so important. And it is so important to go deeper, to be able to uncover like the core issues or the root causes, right? It's also so important to distinguish between, okay, this is the feeling realm, and those feelings are valid, and these are the facts. This is the truth. These are the facts. And this is all the story that gets created out of that.
Yeah.
And just sort of space it out and be with it, so that our parts can experience more spaciousness. And then the parts within us are able to collaborate with each other. And then our core self can connect with all that is and be supported in that greater collaboration. And welcoming that surrender. I love that. When we're against, we're just creating more of what we're against. So it's like
not making much progress, right? We're not moving down the line when we're resisting.
Yeah, we really do. When we resist, that phrase, what we resist persists. It really does. It really does. So such a beautiful journey from doubt to renewal. So just want to invite us to take a moment to pause and feel into your own system, and just take a moment to acknowledge there may be feelings of doubt that you may not have been aware of before we did this reading, before bringing attention to it. And just take a moment to acknowledge, okay, this is actually doubt fueled by fear. And just take a breath. And as you exhale, release it. Release those fears. And just allow yourself to welcome the natural energies that are present. Just welcome being in alignment with those and trusting that flow. This is what allows for renewal. And just anchoring in that. And just take a moment to really acknowledge, where in your life are you experiencing renewal right now? Or where would you like to call in renewal? Just kind of be with that as we go into the second part of the reading, which is very powerful.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So we're on the path to renewal. We've leveled up, right? However we want to apply that or call that. And that we start our next spread with death. So that's it's almost like, putting the nail in hammering the nail in, or whatever they call that. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. And so, the first spread kind of created this path to renewal. And now, maybe doubt crept in, or maybe there's residual old stuff that still has to be cleared or whatever. And this is an opportunity to remember to let that stuff fall away. I understand this very well, being kind of straddled between two businesses and two realms that I'm here doing. It's hard for me to let go of that old one because it's been my income, my bread and butter, my foundation. But I also have this need to create the next, continue with Grounded Dreamers. So it's a matter of timing and trusting. You're not going to let go of it all in one day, but part by part, you can release and release as you move toward that light. I got burden next. This is all those thoughts that are weighing us down. The critical self-talk, who do you even think you are? You're not going to be able to do this. Other people's opinions of you, your previous conception of your previous beliefs and how this is the standard way to do this, whatever it is, project, business, relationship. This is the standard to meet because society tells us to, none of that is valid. And all of that crowds your mind.
Yep.
And, your work is to clear that, lay down those burdens and one by one, not all at once, because that's, not going to happen, and begin to move toward what it is you want instead of dwelling on the things that aren't working or the things that you don't want.
Right.
And the next card I got is believe. And this is the jackalope, right? This is that mystical creature that, I've seen a rabbit with horns or whatever. They call it a jackalope. That is not, there is no jackalope, but there are people that believe in mystical creatures and believe it to be true. And of course, I believe in mysticism all the way. But the thing is this creature, the origins of it's actually rooted in fact. There's some condition, I can't remember, some kind of virus that the rabbit gets that creates the appearance of horns. And so, it was rooted in fact. And those who took off with that and believed it, right, saw more and more of them, right? So that's kind of how we are with our goals and achievements. Just
we see what we believe, right?
Believe it and know it. Then you get to the awareness kicks in. Now the veil gets lifted and you get more clarity, because the burden was disallowing your clarity. It was blocking, especially your third eye. That those burdensome thoughts can really crowd your mind up. Now you have some clarity. Now you can kind of, I do see. I dropped the burden. I started to believe, and I do see how it's possible, whatever this is, and I want to emphasize too, this could be something in your environment, like something tangible and physical in your world, like a project or a relationship, or moving to a new home or a city or whatever. But it also could be inner work, achieving that next level, finding a way to release my envy, finding a way to release whatever these things are that aren't working for you anymore. So I always want to emphasize that this work is inner, and it actually starts with inner no matter what, but that's another story. And then I pulled change, just in case the last spread, it didn't hit home hard enough. Mind it again, change is constant, but this also is taking it a step further and saying, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And even if it's movement you're creating from within, which is that shift of dropping the resistance, dropping the old limiting beliefs, and opening up to, yes, possible. Yes, right? That's movement right there. And then as you go, I got intuition. Make sure to always, I like this because it is, the opposite of this burdensome mind and the opposite of that controlling mind. It's using your mind or using your mind space to be guided in concert with your feelings, with your soul, letting them work together.
Exactly. Aligning.
And knowing the steps, right? Without having to justify or prove or validate, just moving naturally according to your intuition. And then this is the next card is nothing yet is set in stone. And that's reminding us of that, perpetual movement, the movability. It's always shifting and changing. That's kind of goes with that change card, knowing that even if you've come to the end of the road and you're near achieving your goal and it looks nothing like it did when you imagined it first, then maybe there's more work to do, or maybe it just becomes something different. But we don't have to we have this sense, I don't know about everyone else, but when I was younger, I had this sense that I'll achieve this and then happy. I'll get to here and then I'll meet this standard that's put upon me and then I'll be okay. I'll be, okay in others' eyes or whatever. That just is, that's very, very limiting. And it's a big crock because
the ego driving as well.
It's our ego and we're never done. We're never done.
No.
There's always more to be discovered and to be, and when you stop realizing that and you stop growing, your soul, it becomes very disappointed because it knows that we're never done. Just keep going, right? Like the little fish, Dory, keep swimming. And I got perseverance to go with that same theme, right? I know I can do whatever I set my mind to, whether it shows up in the timeline I planned or the fashion, the way, the shape that I planned, I can still achieve it. And then I got individuality. Make sure to put your imprint on everything you do and say and all the interactions you have. Just be in a, it's easy to say, but I was going to say, just be in a state of confidence. I know it's not that easy, but strive for that, right? Strive for that. Know that there is no one on this planet that will do and say and engage and interact the way you do. And so be that, express that in every opportunity you can. That's your magic key to getting your success. And then the final card is conclusions are within reach. And,
I love that.
Knowing that they're just beyond that veil, right? They're just right there. Sometimes you can see it, in your mind's eye, you can see how close you are. Sometimes you just feel it, right? But either way, conclusions are within reach. And I want to say, maybe not the final destination, but a phase of it, right? Or a certain inner working that you're working on that you can master and then up level again, right? It's always, always, always moving. So I like that. What was that saying that I heard that through the law of attraction, through the Abraham Hicks, you can never wait. I'm sorry. You can never get it wrong. Wait, it's never done. You're never done, right? Because there's more and more and more. You're never done, and you can never get it wrong because you're never done. So it's almost like this cycle of trying it, tossing out what doesn't work, keeping on the path of the things that do work. And it's just constant, Anyway, sorry for that weird brain fart, but yeah.
So, it's all good. But no, I mean, the reality is as we spiral in our growth, right? Spiral dynamics of growth is real, right? Like as we go through our evolutionary growth journey, we are going to come to conclusions and we are going to have deaths of ways of being, deaths of actual deaths where people will leave this lifetime, this realm of life. We will have deaths of careers, of spaces. I mean, we will have conclusions. It's true. And if we resist those, then we create more suffering. If we just allow ourselves to align with those with the natural flow of change, right? And then we can grow, we can evolve with it as we need to. And transmuting doubt to confidence. That's what, when you mentioned the word confidence, that is really the gift in healing our relationship with doubt is transmuting it into confidence, and then taking initiative in our lives based on confidence, not
and
based on
self-knowledge.
yeah,
Self-knowledge creates that air of confidence. Just
yeah.
yeah.
And really, the individuality card that came through last week, it came through today, is that self-knowledge. And that self-knowledge that is aligning the mind, the intuition, the soul, the gut, the instinct. It's aligning all of that. Not just letting the mind and all its games lead us. And honestly, not just letting our heart lead us. We want to be led by the heart, but it needs to be in alignment with reason and instinct. It needs to be in alignment.
Timing, right timing.
And timing.
Yeah.
Timing, exactly. So, and then persevering through that. So, such a powerful reading today. And so I just want to invite everyone to pause and be with the reading and just see what you see for yourself in this reading, what it's how it's uplifting for wherever you are in your journey. And just take a moment to really envision your intention for this week. Allow it to emerge from within, really envision it, and then offer it up for divine collaboration, anchoring back into that presence and knowing, and have a wonderful week.